Hey guys, and welcome back to another flashlight review. So today we're going to be looking at the Klarus XT11GT Pro V3, and this is the first tactical flashlight from Klarus that I've actually owned. And Klarus seems to be a name that pops up regularly when people recommend a flashlight, and I can definitely see why. The XT11GT Pro has excellent build quality and attention to detail, and it's pretty much on par with other premium brands like Fenix, Nextorch, and Nitecore. Klarus sent me this sample of the XT11GT Pro for this video. I haven't been paid to make this video, and I'm able to say what I want about the flashlight. So this flashlight is designed for long distance performance. It's rated at 3,300 lumens, which is pretty impressive, and it's quite easy to use as well. You've got a couple of these switches here on the back, and I think this would be ideal if you're someone that works as a first responder. Maybe you're in security, you're a hunter, that kind of thing, you know, just for general outdoors, maybe farm use as well. And yeah, basically you've got a couple of these switches. Like I mentioned, the main switch there gives you access to that 3,300 lumen turbo mode. If you half press, you do have like momentary mode as well, but pretty much whatever you do when you press that main switch, it's going to go into turbo. If you press and hold this secondary switch here, you get a strobe mode. You've also got this SOS mode and beacon. So this is the box that the XT11GT Pro comes in. It's quite a long product name, and you can see here there's little bits of information, but you do get an instruction manual there as well. And you have a lanyard, spare O-ring, USB-C charging cable, which is pretty standard. And they also include this nice nylon holster as well, which is going to be important for some of you guys if you need that quick access to the light. And Klarus also provided me a sample of their AH3 flashlight holster. It's a secure rapid deploy flashlight holster. You can see just some of the features here on the side, and yeah, it tells you what kind of flashlights it fits as well. And this is a close-up of the AH3 holster. So essentially you would just put the flashlight in like that, and there's a little opening at the base so that you can operate the flashlight even with it in the holster. So the idea is that it clips on to your belt, and you can just move this kind of around to different orientations. So normally it would be this way. There's this little clip here on the back. Takes a little bit of pull to get it off, but there we go. You can sort of clip that onto your belt. Okay, and you can have the flashlight pointing down, or you can press this button because it's actually locked, but this button here on top, and rotate to whatever point, and there you have it. You can rotate it forwards, that kind of thing. Yeah, different kind of orientations. Now if you push this up as well, it will lock the flashlight in place. So yeah, if you're running about and you don't want any chance of the light falling out, that's a good little security mechanism. Just press down and it will release. And even without the security mechanism activated, it still requires a little bit of effort to get that light out, which I think is good. Don't want that thing being sort of slinky. And you've also got this other button here on the side. So if you press that, you can actually remove it as well. And I don't know, I suppose you could just, you know, attach it onto different points like that. I don't think you'd really need to remove it unless you're cleaning it. And it's also important to mention that the holster is made of DuPont ST801. So I had a bit of a read about it. It's a nylon resin, and it has some really interesting properties. So it's able to withstand high mechanical stress. It's also got good electrical and flame resistance, as well as good abrasion and chemical resistance. So yeah, overall it feels really tough, rugged, has a little bit of give to it. Okay, just a little bit of flexibility, but yeah, it feels like a very strong material. And there are also various diffusers and mount systems as well that you can buy with the Klarus XT11GT Pro, and you can also purchase a remote switch that replaces this tail cap. All right, so here are a few other tube flashlights that I have next to the Klarus XT11GT Pro, and you can see here the Convoy M2 to the right. Very similar in terms of the length of the battery tube and the tail switch. The head as well, also a bit similar, but perhaps slightly wider on the Klarus. And next to the Nitecore P23i, I mean, that almost looks on par there, except the P23i has a slightly larger battery tube, slightly wider battery tube because it's a 21700 cell flashlight, and it's certainly a little smaller than the Convoy M21B here to the right. But of course, if you're comparing it to something like the Convoy S8, it's going to be a lot larger just due to that bezel size. Alrighty, so here's a little close-up of the Klarus XT11GT Pro V3, and it's constructed from hard anodized aluminium. There's no inconsistencies or rough spots, and I really like the anodizing. It's got this matte black, slightly grippy finish. It's applied evenly as well, and I don't know if you can tell, but this thing really looks and feels like a high-end professional tool. It's definitely a step above a lot of budget style flashlights I have, and you've got this tactical body design and anti-roll cutouts here along the head. Of course, the clip does help it stabilize. And you've also got IPX8 water resistance and 1.2 meter impact resistance. There's a couple of switches here on the tail. So you've got this secondary switch there, which is made of metal, that's used to cycle through the lower modes and access the strobe. And then you've got this primary switch here. It's a rubber switch for basically momentary turbo and sustained turbo. And yeah, really good tactile feedback for both switches, and it's easy to locate either one. And you see at the top there, like as soon as you slide your hand over, your thumb over, you're just always pretty much going to get that main larger switch. So yeah, it's going to work well with gloves too. And yeah, there's also springs on both ends of the battery tube. That's going to help with impact protection. There's a secondary insulation tube on the inside of the flashlight as well there, as you can see. It does come with this 4000 milliamp hour 18650 cell. It's a button top. The clip feels pretty good. There's a nice amount of tension to it. Doesn't feel too slinky. And of course, you can put it in the holster that I showed you before, or the quick deploy holster, the AH3. Just under the head here, you've got a USB-C charging port. You just got to flick open the gasket. There you have it. Feels pretty firm, pretty watertight. I kind of really press it down to make sure it goes all the way. This light will accept other types of 18650 cells and also takes CR123 primaries. All right, so here's a quick little peek down the bezel, and that is the SST70 LED, and it's paired with the smooth reflector. And you've got a glass lens on the front as well. That's going to help protect everything inside. Raised stainless steel strike bezel around it as well, and it's got a good amount of space in between the lens as well to help protect it. You've got 3 ceramic glass breaking beads there too. So this tail switch, the main larger button here, so half press, again, that's just for momentary turbo, and full press for constant on and constant on turbo. Now with the secondary switch here, if you press and hold, you get a kind of momentary turbo. Now if you press and hold for 5 seconds, like a few seconds, yeah, it will keep that strobe on. Okay, and then you just press once to turn off. Otherwise, you press once and it cycles that low, medium, high turbo. Okay, and then goes off. Now if you have it on like that for about 5 seconds, again, just wait, and then you press, it's gonna turn off. Okay, otherwise, yeah, when you press just under 5 seconds, it's gonna just go into the next mode and then eventually turn off. There's also a couple of hidden modes in here, so you double press that secondary switch for SOS mode, double press again, and you get a beacon mode in here. Now from off, if you triple click, you get an electronic lock mode. So then when you press, nothing works, but you can see this light here on the side light up, which reminds me this is also a battery indicator. If you're in any of these other modes, maybe you're like in a low mode like this and you press the main switch, it's going to go straight to turbo, which is also good in case you need it in an emergency. All right, so I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests with the Klarus XT11GT Pro V3, and you can see here on the turbo mode, 3300 lumens, the light starts off, maintains output for probably just under half a minute, and then you can see it starts to drop in a linear fashion, and by 1.5 minutes you're sitting on about a third of the overall output. This is a second ceiling bounce test that I ran on the high mode, 1200 lumens, and you can see the light sustains just over 2 minutes on 1200 lumens before you get that linear step down, and by the 4-minute mark you're sitting on just under 60% output. And here are some measurements I took with my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and you can see on the turbo mode I measured 405 meters of range. On the high mode, 293. CRI ranged from 62 to 68, and CCT was between 5,300 and 6,000. So some considerations if you're thinking about getting the Klarus XT11GT Pro V3. So this is obviously a slightly larger 18650 flashlight, okay, and it does have various tactical features like this glass breaking bezel. So yeah, it's not your usual slim kind of EDC light, but it will still fit in your jeans pocket easily. But of course, that large bezel might get annoying for some of you. Thankfully, you've still got a couple of holster options that I mentioned and demonstrated before, so those are great additions if you need quick access. The second consideration is that there is no ultra low moonlight mode, and yeah, I think that's quite rare on tactical flashlights anyway, but I think that would have been good to have something hidden in there for late night reading, just some night vision related tasks. The third consideration is that the turbo step down is pretty noticeable, of course, due to the high initial output, and it is also fairly smaller size for a tactical flashlight, so it doesn't have the amount of heat dissipation, heat sinking that you get with a larger tactical flashlight. This flashlight is optimized for long range performance, so it's not going to be really that floody for up close indoors work. A lot of the light's going to be focused in the center of the beam, but yeah, on the lower modes it's actually still okay, still usable. And yeah, if you want to use it as a walking light, even the low mode as well, it's pretty okay. And I'm also surprised I didn't use an SFT 70.2 in here, which I think would produce even more throw. Another consideration is that the price does sit above many budget tactical flashlights out there, but you do get better build quality, obviously the warranty, and extra features like this strike bezel. A final thing I thought to mention is that this lockout triple click mode in here might also result in accidental locking. So yeah, I mean, if you mash the buttons around, you could potentially accidentally lock it while the light is off. But yeah, I would rather, of course, this removed on a tactical flashlight, but it isn't a deal breaker. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the Klarus XT11GT Pro. It's a powerful tactical flashlight that combines extreme brightness and long distance capability. And the tactical tail switch here, this dual switched interface, makes it reliable in an emergency when you really just need to activate that turbo with one press. Same with the strobe, and I do like that there are some of these lower modes in there as well, which is going to make it useful for closer up tasks. We don't need that much light. And yeah, I'd recommend this light if you're a first responder, professional, you work outdoors, or maybe you work in security as well. But yeah, of course, if you're an enthusiast who just wants a high quality, high performance and tactical flashlight. But let me know what you guys think below in the comments, and if you have questions, also drop them below and I'll answer. If you found this video helpful, click the like button, share it with someone who might be interested. It just helps me to get the channel out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest news, make sure you subscribe. Klarus XT11GT Pro, and this is the turbo mode. And there's a fair bit of rain tonight, but you can still see it's reaching right to the end of that field pretty well. And if I hold the light right in front of the camera like that, it's kind of harder to see into that clearing. But if I hold it off to the side, you can see it doesn't pick up all the kind of rain in the way. So I think that's like a good way, a good kind of workaround anyway. And there are a few other modes, of course. So let's go to the low mode. And we've got a medium mode here. High mode. It's still pretty powerful, reaches the end easily. And and that's your turbo. Now, I've also brought along my Nitecore P23i, and that's the Nitecore P23i to the left. And the reason why I have it on with me is because it has the SFT 70.2 in there, which is kind of like the throwy version of the SST 70 to the right here, with the Klarus. So you can see you get a bit of extra range, even though both of these flashlights are pretty similar in size. God, it's bloody pouring down. Okay, I didn't expect it to be just start raining like that. Might take a bit of shelter and come back. Klarus XT11GT Pro. It's finally stopped raining as much, and I've got this kind of mid-range shot. Oh, it started again. Well, anyway, as you can see, it's getting all the way through to that path pretty well. And I guess this would be a great kind of circumstance where you might use it. I mean, kind of mid to long range. You've got a good amount of spill as well, but it does start further ahead of you. Okay, this is my Nitecore P23i. Like a much more stronger hotspot, but you've got definitely more of a balanced beam with the Klarus. Some side by side, Nitecore and the Klarus. Just a little bit warmer as well. Now I'll go for a little stroll up ahead. What I'll do is just pop it on the kind of low mode here, medium, high, and turbo. Oops. Turbo. If you hold it on the high for too long, it will just turn off. Now, I've also got with me my Convoy S8 with an SFT 40 in there. Okay, so that's my Convoy S8 and that's my Klarus. So you can see kind of similar beam profile, but there's much more light with the Klarus. And there are some park benches and bits and pieces, trees here. So let's just again try it out there. That's like a barbecue thing over in the center. Gate there to the left. So you see that hotspot does cover quite a large area, which I like. Again, that's my Convoy S8, the SFT 40, and this is the Klarus. Way more light and more spill as well.
course, the Klarus. I'll step down fairly quickly. That's my Nitecore P23i. It's the most intense hotspot. And the Klarus, yeah, definitely has more light just kind of spread out across the entire beam, whereas most of the intensity on the Nitecore P23i is focused right in the center. So two of them together.